This last one is a bit tricky, and it involves combining relative and absolute positioning on different elements in order to accomplish what we need to do. So these instructions say that I have to use absolute positioning on the berry, which I've done before. So let me start with what I know. This is in relative pos container. Double click, copy, paste in my selector. So position absolute. If I save and just refresh, I'll see a little bit of a difference because this image will be pulled out of its container. So you can see that the container gets smaller. So it does understand my absolute positioning. Now I need to move it over there. My coordinates for relative pos container, it looks like it's anchored at the right and the bottom of the of its div. And so I'm going to use those same words here, or that same idea here to say, let's start way over at the right, so 0 pixels away from the right, and way at the bottom, so 0 pixels away at the bottom. So I've chosen these to show you that there's some keyword, like this is how these keywords map to these keywords. Let's save and refresh. Pretty good. I'm not sure why it's not over to the right. Why is it not over to the right? And even more strange, when I resize the browser, so this looks, it's moving, right? As the content of the container is moving. Okay, now let me show you this. Oh, tough times. Up and down it goes. So it only is perfectly aligned when I'm in a specific kind of amount of content. So that's really troubling. Well, here's what is going on. The moment that I set absolute positioning on this strawberry, the browser thinks to itself, if the browser could think, it would think, self, is this berry's coordinates, that is the words right and bottom, does this refer to the right and bottom of some container, like some parent container of the berry on this page, or is it relative to the body? And so it looks up the hierarchy until and looks for position attributes. So in this case, oh my goodness, now my strawberry's up there because the page is so far. Trouble. So it looks here at the strawberry image and it says, okay, does its parent have a position set? No, it does not. Who is its parent's parent? Body. Okay, if it reaches the body, then it just assumes that you're talking about the right bottom of the body. Well, of course, we're not talking about the right bottom of the body. We're talking about the right bottom of the container. So what we need to do is make sure that this relative pos container div has on it some kind of position attribute. Doesn't matter what kind of position attribute it is, it just has to exist. The easy one is relative, because if you set position relative on something and then don't say any coordinates, it just stays exactly where it is at its current location. So that's the easy one to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply position relative to this parent container just to tell the browser that I mean that this strawberry its coordinates are relative to this particular container. This is magical, and it's totally weird and hard to imagine if you've never seen it before and then you come across it in the CSS. So, and I'm going to comment it in a minute. So position relative. So this is only here, put a position attribute on this container so that its child, the previous rule, well, it's not really a rule that's the child, so it's child, the image tag that we're moving in the previous rule is in the coordinate system of this container, not the body. That's what we're doing. Save, refresh. Ooh, did it work? I think so. Beautiful. As we slide up and down, it moves with us. Life is good. There you have it. Here was absolute positioning, where it pulls it out of the flow of the first container and drops it into the body's coordinate system. Number 2 is relative positioning, which just moved the berry relative to where it would have been normally. And number 3 is absolute positioning on the berry, which pulls it out of its coordinates, pulls it out of its container, and then put relative positioning on this container so that the berry's coordinates are relative to this container and not the body. Secrets of positioning revealed.